Hi, this is Pawan Sukhdev from Yale University. I'm here today at Yale with Partha Bhattacharya, who now is MD of Haldia Petrochemicals in India, and before this was chairman of Coal India Limited, the world's largest coal company. Partha, it's a delight to have you here. Welcome.
I'm equally delighted to be here with you.
Is it correct that Coal India provides something like 80 or 82% of India's coal production,
True.
which then in turn is something like 40% of India's energy needs?
Very correct. I think your numbers are absolutely fine, and it is about 81 to 82% of the total coal production.
And that basically puts you as being the world's #1 coal producer.
Yeah, it is.
And
430 million tons is what we did, 431 million tons. That makes us the world's largest. It is not only the world's largest coal producer, it has the world's largest coal reserves.
Right. How is it like to be in a public sector company where one would assume that your goals are aligned with society? Aligning goals with society is one of the key features that we describe as CORP2020, the new corporation, the one that is socially responsible and will determine a healthy future for us all. But isn't this something that just happens automatically in a public sector company?
Well, I would say largely yes, though I must also say that your vision of Corporation 2020, I think, is a corporate which is far more integrated towards social welfare and public welfare than what a PSU today would be.
Why is that? Why would a PSU not be any different?
Because the PSUs have evolved over a period of time, and everything that they are doing for the society, they're doing quite a bit for the societies. But it is more out of sustainability response. You know, we call corporate social responsibility not CSR, not corporate social responsibility. We call it corporate sustainability response.
That's nice.
So it is in response to this, it's sort of a reactive kind of thing.
Right.
And what little I could understand by reading the documents that you provided to me on Corporation 2020, it's more proactive sort of thing.
Yes.
More first towards disclosure, and then gradually, once the disclosures are done, mitigating the impacts.
Yes.
In a more proactive manner. So, but we are closer to that. We are definitely closer to that than most of the private companies.
Right. Now, do you do some of the other things that one would expect of a Corporation 2020, whose goals are aligned to society, which means that it must create human capital in terms of training for its employees. It must create social capital in terms of health and education for its employees and for society generally. Is this something that Coal India would have done?
Absolutely.
Or does?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, Coal India is a legacy company. It was born out of a nationalization of coal mines.
Right.
And one of the big reasons, important reasons for nationalization was that the labor force, the society around was absolutely ill-treated by private miners. So that was the background in which Coal India was formed. And since then, I think it has made huge progress in providing community the basic benefits of modern civilization. For example, the company runs today supports 585 schools.
585
schools, out of which 61 are DAV, DPS type schools. You know what DAV, DPS means.
So that means higher education.
Higher education, good quality education, with all kinds of facilities. This is what they provide. And in addition, there are about 85 hospitals, more than 6,000 hospital beds.
Wow.
And these are all in backward areas.
And are these spread amongst your 400 odd mines? Are they generally targeted to your mining communities?
They are targeted to mining communities, but anybody
living in that
area, they're available. And then the outdoor facilities are freely available to everybody around.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So these are the examples of, if you like, positive externalities that the company is creating?
Absolutely.
Would you say, therefore, that, you know, the sense of community within the 400,000 odd employees of Coal India exists?
The 400,000 odd employees of Coal India, large part of them come from these adjoining villages.
Right.
So the families are also
part of that community.
Part of the community. Coal mine is not a closed factory.
That's right. Yeah.
It is open boundary.
It is very much a society.
In 2006, when I joined, the first thing that I thought I should say, where do you want to take Coal India to? I said that I want Coal India to be the most admired company in the country.
Right.
So that was one. You know,
most admired company.
Most admired company. I didn't say most profitable or most, because a PSU needs to earn the admiration of the society and the people.
That's right.
So that's what I said. And then gradually I started moving towards that. So initially, when I looked at the whole issue, I found that there is a disclosure problem, gap in disclosure. Say, for example, in coal mining, there is, if you do coal mining, you are definitely going to degrade land, you are going to denude forest, you are going to create a rehabilitation problem for people, and all kinds of problems are going to happen. How are you mitigating it? How are you reaching out to solve these problems? These are very important.
But that's why we need standards.
Enforcing disclosure should be one of the main objectives of the independent coal regulator that is being talked about.
Right.
The government is talking about an independent coal regulator. There is not full clarity as to what should be his role. But I think getting this disclosure done, setting standards for environment mitigation and for social mitigation, and then getting disclosure, this should be one of his prime tasks. The other thing that I must add here is, on the forest side, because in India, most of the coal reserves are underneath forests. So one has to be very careful about forest diversion. We need forests to be diverted, but then again build the forest. So I must say on that, Coal India has a reasonably impressive track record. For every acre of forest land that we have consumed for mining purposes, 2.5 acres of afforested land has been returned.
And Partha, how long has this been going on for? This
has been going on for quite some time.
But the kind of growth that we are projecting for coal in India, we are talking about an 8-fold energy increase. We are talking about still 30 years down the line being 50% dependent. I mean, that could be the death knell of all forests if we go as far and as fast as that.
No, I don't believe this. You see, I feel that it is quite possible for India to have a structure, a mechanism by which the forest cover will grow, coal production will also
increase, yeah. But what can we do on the demand side? Would it not be the case that if we focused more of the taxation and the dividend and the outflows that you give to the government of India, if more of that were focused on the resource extraction point, wouldn't that encourage a more efficient use of coal by industry, because the prices would reflect it and the supply would hopefully come through at a better price for you and therefore more profits for the company?
See, in addition to these tax on profits, we also have that system.
You do have royalty?
Yeah, we have a royalty which
is
fairly high. It is a mixed formula. It's a fixed component and a variable component. That variable component is 5% of the price.
Right.
The mixed component, the fixed component varies from 55 rupees a ton to about 185 rupees a ton. But overall, it works out to about 13 to 14% of the price, which is one of the highest in the world. In one state, the state where I come from, West Bengal, there is a cess. There is no royalty there. There is a cess, and that cess is 25% of the price. So this kind of cess and royalty is one of the highest in the world, so it's already there.
But could it not be increased further with the idea that the profit side gets reduced? I mean, in order to actually
I can tell you one thing,
yeah.
Because there is a lot of talk about clean coal, clean MNRE, non-renewable energy and all that. That has to be supported. There is hardly any money for that. Well, Coal India has come to the rescue. There is a charge of 50 rupees per ton on all the coal that is produced to create a fund which supports all this, solar.
Excellent, yeah.
So we contribute 2,500 rupees straight away, crores.
Yeah.
I mean 25 billion rupees annually on that.
But what would happen? I mean, just let's visualize a situation where the profits related taxation declines for Coal India Limited and the royalty doubles. Basically, instead of 13-14%, it is now 27 to 28%.
Coal India will have higher retained earnings because
yes, they would. So this is clearly good for the company. And wouldn't it also introduce energy efficiency, because suddenly people in the industry would need to pay a more appropriate price for that?
Well, pricing energy appropriately will always help improving energy efficiency.
Sure.
There is certainly a strong point there. At the same time, you have to be also cautious about the fact that the country is one of the places where the per capita consumption is the lowest.
Is lowest, yes.
It is 1/3 of that of China. 40% of the population doesn't have access to electricity.
Correct.
So electricity generation has to grow to provide them access. And they are not the people who can pay you a very high price for the power. So they are the marginal people. So you need to produce power cheap. That's also a constraint.
Correct.
But there is clearly, it is possible, at least for the next 20-25 years, it is possible that you increase your forest cover and at the same time grow coal production.
What is your vision, Partha, of a corporation 2020? If you were to imagine in your mind the future corporation, the one that contributes towards a green economy, the one that is socially responsible, the one that is an institute of learning, the one that is a builder of community.
At the end of the day, what is the final acid test? Acid test is admiration of the society. If they are admired by the society, but I assume in 2020 the society will also be equally enlightened.
Yeah.
So if an enlightened society is admiring it,
that is corporation 2020.
That's corporation 2020.
Partha, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure talking to you.